So, does the narcissist know what they're doing? Do they have any level of awareness whatsoever when it comes to the abuse that they are constantly bombarding you with? I see this question all the time in the comments, and it's a very valid question. So let's talk about that today. If you are new to my channel, then welcome. My channel is devoted to educating, supporting, and encouraging victims and survivors of narcissistic abuse. I'd like to welcome all my new subscribers. I do see the channel growing, and I love that. It makes me so happy. So welcome if you're new. Welcome back to everybody who is a current subscriber. Let's dive right into the video. Do narcissists know what they're doing? Yes, narcissists do know what they're doing. They are well aware that they are treating you in a way that is different from the norm. I don't know that they would label it as abuse, but they definitely know that it's taboo or not acceptable in most realms of life. And the evidence for that is that they control it. They hide it. They are very well versed at abusing you in private or in situations where there won't be repercussions to them. If there's going to be any blowback from other people, if it's going to damage their reputation in any way, they're going to curb the abusive behaviors. Whether those abusive behaviors are name-calling, silent treatment, belittling, making fun of, ignoring you, whatever their abusive behaviors might be, and that's just an example. There's lots of other ways they can abuse you. If they turn those behaviors on and off, if they're able to flip it like a switch, that's the evidence that tells you, yes, they're absolutely aware of what they're doing. They know that it's socially unacceptable and that it can damage their reputation if they are known as a bad person, a bad boyfriend, or a bad girlfriend, or a bad friend. They don't want a bad reputation. They are very reputation conscious. Narcissists don't care about how you feel. They care about how they look. They don't know how you feel because your feelings are foreign to them. Your feelings are an absolute anomaly to them. They have no idea what it feels like to be you. They cannot imagine that you have feelings of hurt or confusion, pain. They have no empathy, so they don't feel what you feel. So they can't care about how you feel. So when they treat you badly, it means nothing to them. They cannot put themselves in your shoes. They are well aware that what they're doing is causing you pain because you tell them that and because they see you cry. Logically, they know that when you're crying, you're in pain, that you are hurt. And you've probably so much as told them this. You've laid it out for them. When I cry, when you do this, it makes me feel bad. The problem is that a narcissist cannot relate. They cannot relate to these feelings because they don't have them. They have absolutely no empathy. So even though logically they know that their actions are causing you pain, they're making you hurt, they're making you feel bad, that means nothing to them. Their goal is how they feel. How you feel is absolutely inconsequential. The goal is to satisfy the narcissist always. Their goal is to achieve what they want, regardless of who is in their way. If that means having to bowl over you to get what they want, they can do that without batting an eye. And this is what is so confusing to us. We can't understand this because we do have feelings, we do have empathy, and we cannot ignore someone else's feelings to get what we want. It's just not possible. You can't do that without living with some kind of guilt or shame. You'd have to go back and apologize to everybody you know just to relieve your conscience if you acted that way. The narcissist doesn't. They have no guilt. They have no remorse because they don't have those feelings. So yes, they absolutely know what they're doing. They know because they see it. They know because you tell them. They know because other people tell them. And they know just from the way society acts. Narcissists are not the norm. The norm are empathetic people with feelings who get hurt and try not to hurt other people. So the narcissist knows that they're different from these type of people, but they cannot put themselves into other shoes. They just don't get it. There is a level of disconnect there that is so broad. It really is apples and oranges. The narcissist not only knows what they're doing, but they embrace it. They wear it like a badge. They are proud of the way that they can treat people and not feel and not have feelings, not be hurt. The fact that they're immune to having feelings is a badge of honor to them, and it's a weakness to you. You've probably experienced this in your relationships. If you ever show feelings and emotion, you're probably put down for that by the narcissist, because to them, that's a sign of weakness. That's why they tell you you're too sensitive, or to grow a pair, or to get over it, whatever it may be, whether it's an abuse that they've subjected you to or something else you're going through. I'm going to give you an example, a personal example. So I had a cat, and I loved my cat. She was 18 years old. She was with us since she was a kitten, and she died. She was 18 years old. She just died of old age. And my ex took me to bury my cat. And on the drive home, I was crying. And, I wasn't sobbing uncontrollably or being ridiculous. I was crying an appropriate amount for burying my 18-year-old cat. And he turned to me and he's like, "What's wrong?" And I looked back at him thinking like he was just, I didn't know. I was confused. I looked at him and he was genuinely asking me what was wrong. He couldn't understand why I was crying after burying my cat. Even though he didn't have the same feelings for the cat, it wasn't his cat, and I didn't expect him to. He didn't have to be sad that the cat was gone. But I would have at least thought he would understand why I was sad I just buried my cat. It didn't even occur to him that I would have such strong emotions that I would show over losing my pet. There is such a disconnect. And that was one of the first red flags that I started questioning him. And this is long before I knew he was a narcissist and what a narcissist was. But that always stuck with me as so odd. I couldn't have imagined anyone else that I knew in my entire life that would have asked me what was wrong in that moment. It would have been very evident as to what was wrong. I'm going to give you another example involving death. My ex's father passed away. He was ill and it was expected, and he was elderly. So when he passed away, of course it was sad, but we knew it was coming and it was kind of a relief because he was ill. We cried, we mourned, we moved on. A year or so later, a friend of ours passed away. He was younger, it was unexpected. He died suddenly and it was very traumatic to everyone. And when we left the funeral, I was crying. And I was actually crying pretty inconsolably at that time. I was heartbroken. I was very upset. And he was not emotional, but he never really got emotional. Actually, he never did get emotional, not in the form of sadness anyway. And he turned to me and he said, wow, you didn't even cry that much when my dad died. And again, I was like, there was no offer of consoling me. There was no, I understand. Even if he didn't feel that way, there was no understanding from him. What he thought in his head at that time was that there was a level of unfairness of me crying more at this person's funeral than crying at his dad's funeral. And he brought it back to himself and a selfishness. Well, geez, I didn't get that many tears for my family member. And again, that it just struck me as so odd and so bizarre. But this is, they don't have that emotional connect. There is some kind of disconnect with them that is just different. And these are some things you would look at, and if they make you take pause, that's a red flag. You need to take some more consideration into that. Narcissists absolutely know what they're doing. They don't care. They always look for what's going to benefit them. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I reply to as many as I can. I love to see your thoughts on the videos. And if you don't already subscribe, please consider subscribing now and click that thumbs up button. And thank you for watching. I love you all.